There is no compassion. There is a one-sided, singular thought that carries duality, which is not just old, it is one-sided, dear ones. They are showing themselves to who they are. You get to see it for the first time. Really see it. They'll kill a group of children and walk away laughing because they did their job for what they believe. And civilization up to now has reacted just the way they wanted. Fear, anger, shock, and they got what they came for. To make it even worse, they're willing to die for it. Because there'll be always somebody to take their place, and they'll be enhanced in their belief of what they're doing. Now, here's what I want to tell you. At some point in time, dear human being, civilization is going to have to unify itself against them. To take a stand of light, not country by country, but human by human, gathering arms together and saying, no, this is not what we want. We want to move forward. We want light on this planet. We want a reason to live. We want love in our lives. We want good things. We want our families to grow up around us and be healthy and happy. We want good schools and good hospitals. We want the systems we have in place to work. We want our governments to work. We don't want to be poor. And I want to tell you that when civilization decides that, that's what they're going to get. That's how powerful you are. But right now, you cower and you hide in groups. I want to tell you our prophecy. The duality heightens itself and sharpens itself for civilization. It's going to start to see what's dark and what's light and react. You're going to start seeing organizations. You're going to start seeing those who are banded together all over the planet against what is taking place. If this goes the way the other planets have gone, what you're going to see is slowly you're going to corner that which is dark. And you're going to corner it in very interesting ways. I want to give you some practical things that we have given you before. I want to tell you that if you kill them back, you're one of them. You cannot use dark against dark. It doesn't work. They understand dark a lot more than you do. Practical. In order for them to exist, again, they must fund their work. Part of what civilization is going to demand is that no country can fund them, and if anyone is caught funding them, they will simply be out of the group. And if you're out of the group, you don't trade with anybody, do you? No matter what your riches are alone, if you can't trade with the world, it doesn't do you any good to sit there with all your riches, does it? Do you see where I'm going with this? Civilization can control darkness by controlling how they fund their darkness. You can take away their funding. This has worked in the past. There is a country, and some of you will know what I speak of, who figured this out. There was a time in that country where no city was safe and was literally owned by the drug cartels. Children could not go to school. Mothers and fathers were afraid for their lives to walk out and go to the store or even pick vegetables in their own garden. Truth was nowhere. Horror was everywhere. And there were those who said they were doomed because of it. And the criminals had the streets. And if you walked out, and if you had any abundance at all, you were threatened kidnapping, death, or worse. Now, I want to tell you what has happened in that country. because of what they figured out and the approach they took, they were able to corner that, which was dark, and they pushed it aside. Slowly, they pushed it out of their cities. Slowly, they pushed it into the hills. For the last 10 years, it has simply been pushed into a small group into the jungle. And it's so interesting to see what that small group did. That's darkness. The group that originally ruled the cities, murdered and hated freely. They decided something, that in their own way, light might be better. And they went to their government, who had pushed them into the corner, and said, "We don't know how, but we want peace, and we're done fighting." That, my dear human being, is the future of this planet if you want it. You can corner them, and you can make them uncomfortable, and you can give them compassion, and they'll start to realize it isn't working. That's a two. A duality that heightens itself to the point where all humanity decides to make a decision. It has happened planet-wide over and over. It is one of the steps we ask you to look for. Every single dark group has a name. It has an acronym, and you heard it over and over. Where are the names and the acronyms of the light groups? Well, there's going to be some, if you're brave. That's where civilization can go. It's headed there. 2015 may not have started as bad as you think. It may have set a standard for what you will not accept or put up with. The ones who were killed at their desks came in for that reason. Is this hard for you to imagine? If these potentials are known planet-wide from place to place, and I have told you who you are on the other side of the veil, is it too much for you to think that perhaps those who were killed knew the potential at some level and came to work that day? I don't want to tell you where they are right now. They're in a celebration. Can you celebrate it? Death has no sting, for once they returned to my side of the veil, we welcomed them with tears of love. Well done. Watch the planet change because of what you gave today. It's a different paradigm on my side. Dear ones, compassion, benevolence, love. I'll say it again. It's time to get started with the creation of light.